Yeah, my name's John. The digital gramophone. Some people say that makes no sense. It makes perfect sense to me. What makes no sense is the amount of money that I spend on records at places like this, Premium Sound in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm told that I'm supposed to say some sad bastard shit. I can't think of any of that right now, even though my life is pretty sad and pathetic. But I do have a lovely family. And I've had a good time with Steve, who's been visiting in Charlotte. And welcome to the Sunday Morning Early Show.
Good day, mates. Welcome to the early morning show. Today, I am doing my best Ben Rankin look. Except I took, unlike Ben or Mike, as I call him, his beard. I took his beard and put it on my head. So clean shaven, but I got hair on top. Sorry, Mike. But the reason why I say this is this shirt. This is called a Ben Rankin shirt. In fact, if you go to the store and you just ask, can I have a Ben Rankin shirt? They're going to take you and they're going to find these kind of cool button-down shirts. Best dressed man in the VC. Hands down, out of Australia, Ben Rankin. So check out his channel. For those of you that like fashion, you want to say, how do I keep up with fashion? This is what you have to get. And when I was thinking about Noble Records, I was going, as we were getting ready to go there, I go, wow, what should I wear? What should I wear? And many of you, which I probably have the largest group of comic writers ever that write every week to me, and I appreciate that, came up with many suggestions. But I thought, you know what? I am going to go in, and I got someone trying to show my meow. And I said, I'm going to go in with a button-down shirt and shorts because I knew John from Digital Gramophone would be there. And though I've never met John, I knew he would be wearing a button-down shirt and shorts. And sure as hell he did. And he calls these fat dad shirts. So I had my fat dad shirt on. And the opening was done by John from Digital Gramophone. Please check out his channel. Cat's here. Cat's excited. Happy to be here. Actually, he thought he should have some kind of treat. He still thinks he should get milk, and he doesn't get milk anymore. Yeah, so you can sit. The other opening part was done. That's Port Huron. I stayed there this week for a few days. Actually, only one night, but it's a hotel I have a hard time getting into. Generally, they ask too much, but they had a good price, and since I'm a loyalty member, I got right on the bottom floor. Beautiful, beautiful patio out there with chairs. I could watch the ships and the sunrise and sunset. Very cool place. All right, are we going to settle in? Are you going to be a part of this today and be decent? All right. So there we go. That's the opening. I did win a contest, the Robert Z contest, so that was neat. Those of you who watched my contest entry, thank you. And now I'm going to get records sent to me. I'm going to have to pull out some more records to make room for the new records, I guess. Yeah, but I've only Dave, the VC ambassador, is one less contest than I have through the years. So exciting exciting to have that, to win that. Very, very much so. And I think I'm set. On the open, you did see this fishing. Bobby Gass, the fishing was for you. And I did see someone get one. No, meow. You are not going to sit. You're just going to be pissy about this, aren't you? Yeah? Okay. There we go. Wants to go. He is getting old. I don't. And he's getting crabby, quite honestly. Yeah. Now we're going to meow. I'm filming. Okay? So, I don't know. We'll see how this one goes today. First album. Let's do this. Moby ReSound, New York City. Wow. This is the second time he's gone through and taken his music and has reinterpreted it. And this, ReSound is filled with music that he recorded from 94 to 2010 while in New York City. And I guess to best explain, it's like a transformation on a grand opulent scale. I mean, that's how big it is. That makes this music more cinematic. It sounds incredible. And he's not making a symphonic recording, that's just a reimagining of his songs. Instead, it is I'm sorry. It is basically a symphonic chord that is reimagining. But some people just add strings. Hey, there it is. I orchestrated this. This is a total taking these songs and making something different with them. And that's what makes it exciting. It makes the original songs sound as if they were demos. It is so good. He has so many guest vocalists on here doing the different songs, and they add something. It's not just putting in a vocalist. They actually add and create something. He has the song, there's a South Side. And on South Side, he adds these funky bass, these funky horns and funky bass line grooves. And it creates a song that feels like it's a celebration. But what's interesting is it's a song that's very dark. Southside is, he, during the, mid-90s, he had been dropped from his label. He put out some different CDs and that, but his label dropped him. And so he didn't know what to do. And, he was just in a very bad place, I believe at that time he was still drinking, but he was just, what do I do with my life? Do I become an architect? Do I go somewhere else? Do I just quit music? I don't know what to do. Well, he did have a home studio, and he still began to record. So on his own dime, own money, he began to record. And he created the songs for his album, Play. Play was his biggest album. So I didn't look up what label dropped him, but all I can say is they lost out big time because his next album was his biggest album. But sometimes it takes something like that. You get kicked out. It says, I'll show people. I'm going to show people, and it creates an inner desire to do something more. Because you hear that all the time. A band gets dropped, and then they put out another album, and it's their masterpiece. So Southside was a great song. They have, a song like This World, and it's just, it's very emotional and just heartfelt song. Got a lot. There we go. Just New York City skyline. This is on Deutsche Grammophon. Beautiful colored vinyl. And I think the other one, and we have the other album. Look at that. Kind of looks like Van Rankin there. Actually, the beard's not the same, and he looks a little more intense. Very intense looking Moby. More yellow. And this is going to be one of my favorite albums. The song Signs of Love, it just has these beautiful sweeping strings are going on within the song, and it creates this tenderness to it. Some of these songs are more of more the obscure tracks that he has, but he creates something absolutely incredibly beautiful with it. All kinds of people in here helping him and saying, this is fantastic. I totally am in love with this album. I think it's great. He did one of these before. It was one of my top albums of that year. It's going to do it again. Great job, Moby.
Myself in the pouring home. I feel like I'm overblown. See myself in the pouring rain. Me in my heart.
Yeah, I'm going to put my albums there. I don't know why you have to sit over there. Okay, next one. Oh boy, this is a tough one. Aphrodites Child, 666. Aphrodites Child out of Greece, formed in 67, broke up in 72, known as the group that has Vangelis. Now, I bought this for one reason, and it's not because of this. This bugs the crap out of me because my dad was not a fire and brimstone preacher. That wasn't his thing. He wasn't there saying, the world's going to go to hell. We're going to, not that way whatsoever. But, you did have to study Revelations in confirmation. So I bought the album 999. This is the Australian version, so everything's upside down. And so on 999. The reason why I bought this actually has nothing to do with this album whatsoever on having a desire for this. Just quite frankly, it's not my music. No, there was a much better reason. I bought it because I wanted a vertical swirl. That is my sole reason for buying it. Because I did this, and as I did that, it began to hypnotize me and said, "You need to buy me. You need to buy me." And it might be something with the 666. I was told if you play this in reverse, this album in reverse, this vertical swirl opens up a portal to hell, and you're sucked in. I'm not trying. I'm not going to find out. I can't play it in reverse on my thing. But there could be truth to that. So, yes, I bought an album that's not the cheapest album in the world because I wanted a vertical swirl. Nice inner jacket. Look at that. Pretty neat. Half notes. Sing it again. Right. Yeah. Pretty. I like that kind of stuff. Blue Ash. I used to have that album. Pop and Turn Over. I used to have that one. Man, see, I used to have a lot of classic rock. Kids, I used to have a lot of classic rock in the old collection. I just don't have room for all of it now. Too much cool new stuff coming out. And same one here. So it's a 2-album set. Aphrodites Child. There we go. And it's about the Book of Revelations. It's a concept album about the Book of Revelations. And it's a very ambitious concept album that came out in 1972. Now, Aphrodites Child, they were formed, they came from a variety of different bands. But when they formed, they didn't even have a band name. They were out there putting out music, the band with no name, I guess. But they moved from Greece to London because Greece brought in a right-wing dictator, and they were afraid that he would squash their music, possibly arrest them, because he wasn't going to like what they played. So they moved to London. Now, they'd had 3 albums, so this was their 4th album. Should we do this for those of you that are bugged by that 666? I know there's some of you. And so Vangelis wanted to do this concept album, and he wanted to make it more psych rock and prog. And the other band members were not interested in that at all. They had been making more poppy type music, more accessible type music, and that's what they wanted to do. But Vangelis said, no, this is where we got to go. And so that's what they did. And it took over 2 years to make this album. And by the time it was done, the band had disbanded. You know, it was too much tension. They couldn't handle it. Is this to me a wonderful, credible album? You know what? It's really not my deal, but it has a vertical swirl, damn it. So that is really cool. But you know, quite honestly, you know, the singer Dennis Roussos, it's Greek. Greek is like French. It's Greek to me, man. But you know, he has this frantic operatic falsetto going on at times that, you know, it just, you know, boom, I stop it, sing normal. But the band just fiercely pounds through every one of Vangelis's complex compositions, and so there is some cool sounding songs and some that are just yeah, whatever, and you know, just I mean, the Four Horsemen, the Beast, Seven Trumpets, the whole concept. I'm more into, I like music that's uplifting. Revelations, there's nothing uplifting there going on unless you happen to be saved. So, yeah. Hey, it's a vertical swirl. Aphrodites Child 666. Okay, I have some VCLT here. This came from Dave, and I'd shown it briefly, you know, but let's talk a little bit about it. Galt McDermott, Music from the Basement, Unreleased Tracks #2. And just a white inner sleeve. There's your label of Kilmarnock. All right, what you got in here is more funky drums and bass. Galt McDermott was really good with that. And, you know, he brings in some different players that really know how to play the funk. And it really makes this thing interesting. Yeah. So, you know, it begins with Lost Dreams. Now, the problem with Lost Dreams I had is there's just some vocals on there that aren't that hot. It took away from what I was trying to listen to below that. Most of this album, though, is instrumental. You know, it goes into ghetto sweet melody. And this bass line and the drums, it takes over. And you can feel the funk happening. And it's really neat. What was this one? Whirly Groove. Very much a 70s funk vibe that's happening on that one. Super cool sounding. Then there is Baba Black Baby. Baba Black Baby, it has just this cool 70s slow groove going on. Very neat stuff. This just, again, you know, if you were if you're a person that does samples and stuff like that, the stuff you could pull off this would be amazing. You just have to sit there and listen. There is definitely a 70s kind of blaxploitation feel to it on some of these songs, but that bass, and there is some fuzzy guitar happening in there periodically, but the bass and drums, really, really neat. So thank you, Dave, for this. Very cool. and Future Sounds. I used to have this album in my collection. I rebought it because Dave and I went, and when we were down Charlotte, we saw them in concert. Here you go, a little footage.
Just like her apple and key in a lock with no key. Hey, spell me out you.
Now, in concert, it was great. It was just a great. I really enjoyed it a lot, and they put on a heck of a show. So I bought this album there. I thought maybe that's their new album. This thing came out in 2017. It's the only one they were selling. Obviously, they had a lot of them left over. Must not have done well in 2017. But I bought one. But I did buy this one. This is from 2014. This is their 4th album called Singles. This is their 5th album called This Far Afield. So we're going to talk more about this one. This is the new one, and that one I had. So Future Sounds, they from Baltimore and formed in 2006. Actually, a lot of them came from North Carolina, though, and it's an American synth pop band. When they originally started, they called themselves the Art Lord and the Soft Portraits. I mean, let's think of a stupid name. How about the Art Lord? And well, they were more of a kind of a craft work type of band. They had a shtick, you know, they dressed a certain way and stuff like that, and things just weren't going. So that band broke up, and 3 of the members came over, and they brought in a drummer, and they formed Future Sounds. Future Islands. I keep saying Future Sounds. There is a group called that. Future Islands. Now, as they were trying to decide what do we call ourselves, they had 2 names they were trying to decide between. One was called Future Shoes, and the other was called Already Islands. They must have been drinking, because those are the 2 names you come up with. Future Shoes? Wow. Oh, that's cool. No, it's not. Or Already Islands. So they compromised. They put them together and came up with Future Islands. That's better. Is it great? No, but it's better than Future Shoes. So this album, Singles, again, came out in 2014. It had a hit on here. And it was called, what was it called? Seasons, Waiting on You. And I'll give you a little hit of that. Pitchfork rated as the best song of 2014. This album's really good. I really like this album. It's when I was getting back into vinyl again back in 2014. I saw, hey, this Amazon place has vinyl records. Wow. Well, and away we go. So this one, though, this is the 5th one, 2017. And it's just, this added more horns and strings than what was on the other album, on Singles. It does have in here, we have lots of words written on black. That would be hard to read. We have nice little inner sleeve. And just black vinyl. So they add more to this. There's it's some great synth pop music that's going on this album. At times, though, I think the additional strings on that can get a little cumbersome and aren't always needed. You know, they're trying to up Singles and do a little bit more to it. Not always necessary. In concert, they didn't have that, and you did need to have it. It was still wonderful. The music, there's a lot of... Harrington was a Herring. Herring is the guy's name, the lead singer. And his voice, this guy has a lot of power and emotion that he puts into his vocals. And you feel it on there and you can hear it. Really good album. I mean, is this one that's going to change your life and make you go in a whole new direction of musically? Probably not. But I liked it. And they really are a great concert. Gaston. Now there's some, look at that. Now that's dressing up and looking cool. Man, oh boy. They're based out of Atlanta. It's a soul funk band that was there. This is their one album, My Queen, came out in 1978. If you want an original of this, you're going to pay $392 medium. That's what it's worth on Discogs. Okay. I didn't know about this band, but Steve Bender and John, the Digital Gramophone, were talking to me about it. Says this is a great album. You need to get this. Why don't you have this? They shamed me into buying it. I got shamed a lot, I guess. It came with a bunch of records. So there we go. It's off Hot Atlanta Records. Kind of a cool label. So it is funk. There is you know, what's interesting about this group is they kept changing their name. So, you know, they formed in 1978 or 77. They called themselves Gaston. In 1980, they changed their name to Sunshine, you know, to Sunshine People. The reason is they were working on a tax scam as they were trying to release some new and some of their old repeated music. I'm not sure what the scam was, but there was some type of tax scam going on. In 82, they changed their name again, this time to the Pied Piper of Funkingham. So I don't know what's going on, but yeah, look at them suits, boy. That is 70s disco. So you do have on here, there's like this, some really unusual funk sounds, because what they use the Moog, they use Latin percussion, there's flutes, there's fuzz guitar, and of course the bass and drums. It's all happening on here, and there's some really neat stuff. Something like the Clap Song. It's this long hypnotic type instrumental disco jam session. Fun stuff. It goes on for almost 10 minutes, so perfect for the dance floor. The Magnificent Choo Choo, which begins with like a little choo-choo train. A little weird there, but that's okay. It's not mine. But it is a glam funk gem of a song. Really, really neat. Just fun. My Dreams is on here. Just one of those sexy slow burners. Great funk music, really neat to have, so really enjoyed that. I'm also talk to me about it. There's a lot of pressure on me. Okay, Freddie Roach, here we go. And this is from Vinyl Me Please. Of course, we have your little Obi, the little book. I need to read those books sometime. You would think before I would do this, I would read the book so I could tell you, but whatever. So, Freddie Roach from the Bronx, 1931, came out with this album. This is a soul jazz. Well, he was a soul jazz organist. He did like 7 albums for Blue Note and Prestige. Brown Sugar came out in 64. On this album, instead of doing hard bop, he decided to get dirty and funky and soulful. And he did. This thing is pretty cool. Now, I am not a big jazz organist person. I've been very vocal about that. This was really neat sounding. I liked it. They only have one original called Brown Sugar. The rest are ones that, are just covers. But first off, Brown Sugar, it just burns it up. It is so freaking cool. But then, there's just these really deep grooves going on. On all these songs, there's super deep grooves and just these great solos that are happening. Really nice. There's some slow blues that are happening on a few of these songs. And again, just smoking R&B. This was fun. Just changing from this hard bop into the soul jazz. And he did it. And he did it very, very well. Super good album. I highly recommend this one. If you're inviting me, please didn't buy it. I believe it was their selection of the month. Well worth it. Freddie Roach, Brown Sugar. Nice. From 64. cool stuff. Thank you very much for hanging out. Cat says meow again. Looking at me going, what the hell's going on here? I want to go downstairs. So appreciate it. Everyone have a great day and have a great week. Talk to you later this week. Bye.